All right. Be'ezrat Hashem. So we continue. B'sha'a tova mutzlachat. We are Pasuk Tet. Pasuk Tet. So just as a recap, Kene Chochma, Kene Bina. When you acquire Chochma, you have to acquire Bina, right? Al tishkach ve'al tatet. Don't forget. Don't let go. And all the benefits, of the Torah and the Bina that protects you, that guards you. And another benefit, says Shlomo HaMelech, Titen leroshcha livyadchen, ateret tiferet temageneka. It will give you a wreath of grace on your head and a crown of tiferet, of glory. It will temagenecha, from Lashon Magen, will protect you. So says Shlomo HaMelech. Well, we've addressed already the difference between a crown and a wreath. And if you recall, in the beginning of Mishlei, Perek Aleph Pasuk Tet, the Pasuk there says, Ki livyadchen leroshecha va'anakim legargerotecha. And livyadchen, the Gaon explained, is a piece of jewelry. At the time, and it's based on the Gemara Yerushalmi in Masechet Shabbat. At the time, when a husband wanted to reward his wife, he would buy her jewelry. And there was two types of for her Masim Tovim. There was two types of jewelry. There was pieces of jewelry that were made of one piece of gold, okay, or precious metal. And another one that was made of a lot of little different pieces. Livyadhen, he explains, is like essentially it's like almost like a crown, but it's a piece of, it's like a wreath of gold, a piece of jewelry, but that's made of one piece, and that sits on the head, and that refers to the chokhmah, to the bina, to the sechel, etc. And the anakim was pieces like it was like a necklace that would sit here on the neck and come down. That was made of a lot of coins, a lot of little all type of small pieces of jewelry. And the Gaon says that Shlomo HaMelech is referring to the two types of Seder Avodat Hashem, which is the Chokhmah and the Bina, which is a Sechel, which is considered as one koach, even though we have different elements in it, but it's really one koach, versus the necklace, which has a lot of pieces, which is referring to the actions, right? Because every action is individual, and every mitzvah is individual, and is a new opportunity every single time. So he says Shlomo HaMelech, back to our pasuk, that the Chokhmah and the Bina are on your head like a wreath, and the wreath, when a person wears it, it shows beauty, it shows refinement, it shows chen, it brings out chen, right? Why do we put a wreath on the head? to enhance the beauty of a person, versus the crown, that the crown represents authority. So in terms of jewelry, in terms of hand, we have two types. We have that type that Shlomo Amir is talking here, which is the wreath on the head. And then we have the necklace that he talks in Pasuk Tet in Perek Aleph, which represents the Maasim, or the mitzvot, or Maasim Tovim. So here he's talking about the beauty that the Chokhmah and the Binah shines and emanates in a person. Is that the benefit of your Chokhmah and your Binah? And although it sounds very repetitive, but Shlomo Melech is finding different ways to address essentially different avodot and different benefits. But he says that when a person works on his chokhmah and works on his binah, he emanates hen. He is blessed with hen. But not only the hen, but it's also a crown on his head. And the crown on his head, explains Shlomo HaMelech, a crown is only worn by kings and authority. And what is the benefit of a crown? Three things. First of all, that you are feared and respected. Second of all, is that your family benefits from the pride of being close to the crown. So they behave different and they are treated different. And it's also a source of protection. Right? So the fear, the source of protection might be similar, although it has some differences. But so you're on one hand you're respected, on the other also you are feared. Right? So these are the three benefits: respected, feared, and that the immediate family benefit from that. Says the Gaon, it's the same thing with the Chokhmah and the Binah. A person that has Chokhmah, that has Binah, so first of all, he's respected, but he's also feared. Because when you have Chokhmah and you have Binah, people will not engage with you frontally and try to challenge you unless they're completely stupid. Why? Because they know that if they trigger you to react, it won't just be a reaction. It will be a strategized, well thought, planned behavior, right? So in a sense, they're bringing upon themselves problems. And obviously, the sort of thing, when you have Chokhmah and you have Binah, like we explained in the Psukim before, your Chokhmah and your Binah is being infused in the behavior of your immediate family because they grow up with it, so they are exposed to it. And as long as it's genuine and pure and well delivered, it will be also a source of inspiration for the family, direct or even a little bit distant, right? And essentially, it brings them pride because they want to be close to the crown, they want to be close to the chokhmah, to the chacham. And the emet is when you're part of the family of the chacham, you're treated different. We see that in the families of Gdolei Israel. If you're the son of Reb Chaim, you're the son of Reb Chaim. You understand? If you're the grandson of Baba Saleh, you're the grandson of Baba Saleh. If you're the cousin of, it gives an individual a hila, an aura that the person can benefit from, obviously as long as the person knows what to do with it. So these are benefits from the Chokhmah and the Binah. It gives hen and it gives authority. When you think about it, it's also exposing other behaviors that impose authority or that impose to be cool or to be liked or to be accepted. It's not because you try to be cool. It's not because you dress cool. It's not because you hit your fist on the table, you scream or you use your money, or that you actually create authority or create hen. Here, Shlomo Melech is really giving you the source of pure hen and the source of pure authority and respect, which by definition, the way Shlomo Melech is teaching us, all this lives within you. Everybody has chokhmah, everybody has binah in potential, right? So everybody in potential has authority, has hen. But the question is, do they enhance it? Do they improve it? Do they bring it out to the light through their avodat chokhmah and their avodat binah, or no? It reminds me of a Torah of the Likutei Moharan that addresses the difference, if I'm not mistaken, is in Torah Vav, if I'm not mistaken. That he addresses the difference between the Kavod Melachim and the Kavod Eloki. There's people that impose Kavod because of their social status. But that Kavod at the end is a destructive and awakes rebellion, machloket, And we've seen that kings fall, because they get killed, they get betrayed, because that kavod is not real kavod, and that authority is not real authority. It's just that the people are scared, so they in their imagination they think they're going to get hurt, so they have to behave. But they don't really respect their king. And then you have kavod eluki, which is the kavod that HaKadosh Baruch Hu grants you, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu blesses you with. And that is a kavod, that's a respect that shines so much purity and truth that it touches every heart. This is the type of chen, this is the type of kavod we're discussing here. This is what the wreath and the crown of the Chokhmah and Binah triggers, shines around a person. Pasuk Yud. Any questions?
Yeah. Just to go back to that last point that L'Likutei Moharan brought down. So when you talk about this king, and let's use the example, if we can, for like a non-Jewish king, right? He or dictator, ruler, he enforces the fear in people. But what happens if he works on his chokhmah and his bina, right? Not from a Jewish standpoint, but from a everything else. Can he still be blessed with that, with all those things from Hashem, with that real chen from Hashem, that he can get to the?
We see that Kadosh Baruch Hu, Lev Melachim V'Sarim B'Yad Hashem. The heart of the kings are in the hands of Hashem. So the answer is yes. And the Chokhmah Bagoim Ta'amin, we find Chokhmah by the Goim. So definitely HaKadosh Baruch Hu will, because of his status as a ruler, okay, can be blessed with chen, absolutely. Okay? But it's not. I don't know if it's the same level of chen in Am Yisrael, but it's the chen of a melech, of melech that Kadosh Baruch Hu showers upon the person, as long as he is a king that like, for example, we found Dariush, right? Dayavesh. That Dayavesh rebuilt the second Bet HaMikdash, right? So he had chen, he found chen in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Okay, thank you.
Pasuk Yud. Shema beni vekach amarai. וירבו לך שנות חיים, שמע בני, hear, listen, accept. We've addressed the three different types of Shema, right? A few psukim ago. Here he says Shema is listen to your master. Listen. Absorb. Shema beni. First absorb. Vekach amarai. He says, after that, take my words and start working them, implementing them. Like we learned in the pasuk before, right? Reshit chokhmah kene chokhmah, kene bina, Reshit chokhmah kene chokhmah, ubechol kinyanecha kene bina. Right. So here is the same concept. Shema beni, first listen, first absorb, from Merabo, from your Rav, from your Rav. V'kach amarai, and after, take what you've learned and work it, develop it. And he takes an extension to that pshat of kach amarai. Take them with you and implement it in your life. Don't leave it in a level of theory. And how do you implement it? In utilizing your chokhmah that you've learned and applying it in actions through the mitzvot. Like the pasuk says, Chacham lev yikach mitzvot. The Chacham takes the mitzvot, meaning use this chokhmah to translate it in a way you can do mitzvot and do them better. וירבו לך שנות חיים, and you will have many years of life. As we know, we've explained, we've addressed that the Torah is a source of life. And not only it's a source of life, and it enhances your life with a quality of life, but it also gives you a longevity. It's a segula to have a longer life. And he brings the Gemara in Masechet Yuma Daf Ayin Aleph. The Gemara says on that specific pasuk, V'yirbu lecha shenot chaim, it will add you, right? It will have many years of life. You will add many years of life. Years of life. So the Gemara says, are there years that are not life? But that if you live, you live. So what does it mean, years of life? V'yirbu lecha shanim. You will have more years. What does it mean, years of life? So if I'm not mistaken, it's Rabbi Azar that says, he answers and he says like this. He says, Shenot Hayim, the years of life, meaning the years that you live, are the good years, the years of happiness, years of satisfaction. These are years of life where you actually live. And this refers to Yaakov Avinu when he meets Paro. Right? He says, Paro asks him, how old are you? He says, my years of life are. So the year of life, living, the definition of Chaim means an experience, a life filled with success, with happiness, satisfaction, accomplishment. A life of Torah, a life that is based and fueled with Torah. So he says, this is Chaim. ירבו לך שנות חיים. ירבו לך שנות חיים means that the Torah can turn years מרעה לטובה. Years that are supposed to be bad and turn them into good. Literally and properly what that means that a person can have years that are supposed to be bad years, and why bad? כך גזר המלך, הקדוש ברוך הוא for whatever reason, decided that this person should have years that are difficult, years that are bad, years that are empty. And through the dedication of the Torah, through the development of Chokhmah and Bina in the Torah, the Segula of the Torah swaps the bad years and turns them into good years, into years of accomplishment and beracha and atzlacha. Yes.
Could it be that maybe it's not that the year is different, but that you see or feel different? So maybe it's the
Definitely
same.
also. In terms of situations, you mean?
Yes. Maybe it's
Well,
that you see it different, not that it changed.
it could
Or
be.
does it really change too?
Let me tell you the words of the Gaon. Ki Torah mehapechet. The Torah flips otam, them, meaning the years, mira'a, from bad, letova, to good. So it's not just a perspective. Umehapech otam. The years, right, change. Now, can it be just the way the person absorbs it and takes it? It could be, but it would be limiting the beracha of the Torah that we're talking about here. The Gemara says אלו ימי אדם שמתהפכים מרעה לטובה. These are the days of a man that go from bad to good. The Mishnah in Brachot says, כשם שמברכים על הטובה, כך מברכים על הרעה. A person has to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu and praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu, whether on good things and also on bad things. Right? What does that mean? That means that you can have a perspective of the bad and accept it that it's letova, right? Gamzu letova, ish gamzu letova. What does that mean, gamzu letova? Even though I don't see the good, right? But I know it's for good. What changes? The situation is the same. It's just that the person elevates himself above the pain of the situation and builds koach and emunah from his emunah and bitachon that it's for the best. This is not what we're talking about here. Here we're saying that the bad flips into the good. So when you think about it, if you plug that segula back into the equation, the more you invest in chokhmah, the more you invest in your bina, the more you learn from your Rav, the more you translate that learning and crystallize it into actions, and the more you flip the bad into the good. And it's almost, I don't want to say midah keneged midah, but it's an extension of your work. You take something that's a potential. A potential is not a reality. A potential is a potential. And what do? You translate, you turn something that is theoretical, okay, and you flip and you turn it into something that's real. You take a machshava that is spiritual, and you turn it into an action that is practical. So what are you continuously doing? You're turning things, you're crystallizing things and turning things from something that is opposite and turning it into something else, right? We know that spirituality and physicality are two polar opposites, right? So you take something spiritual, turn it into something practical. So you have this ability constantly to swap from one opposite to the other. So naturally, the outcome is that because you're doing this in the right, constantly in the right direction, right? The Torah itself that you're crystallizing also basically takes the bad and swap it into good. Why? Because you're infusing in your practical life the beracha of the Torah. It's not just magical. The more you infuse your life with practical Torah through mitzvot and ma'asim tovim, and the more your life now is infused with Torah and ma'asim tovim, with the beracha of the Torah. And the beracha of the Torah itself is what flips the bad into good. It's not, this is the key word here, mehapechet. Mehapechet is to flip around. That's the key word of Chachamim in the Gemara and in the Gaon. You understand what I'm saying? So the fact that you're taking something from spiritual and turn it and turn it around into practical, the Torah that you infuse in your life has this ability to take the bad and turn it into good. Like the mechanism that you work on in the Torah is infusing the bracha of the Torah that's in your life, and that is the mechanism that turned the bad into good. Yes.
Does it go the other way around too?
What do you mean?
If you don't infuse chava, maybe you have good and you turn it into bad. So maybe you have this destiny of beracha and you are not studying and doing your job. So maybe they change it. It works both ways.
Maybe. It's harder to say that because maybe.
But this is incredible.
Yes.
It's the process for success.
Correct. This is a segula on how to flip things around. Mamash, from darkness to light. From bad to good.
Maybe that's why when sometimes persons have a problem, they talk to the rabbi and say, go to study Torah. And say, I have this problem, you send me to study.
Exactly.
Rabbi, doesn't this bring back like once we go down this path though, I feel like we then beg to ask the question, why do problems or bad things happen to huge Talmidei Chachamim? How do we answer that? That's keeps bothering me.
No. This you have to Gemara. First of all, the question is has to be asked, right? It's nachon. The Gemara tells us in Masechet Kiddushin, right, that a tzaddik is compared to someone that burned a man that burned the entire Torah, and the Rasha is compared to someone that became all the Torah and did not even miss one letter. Gemara Lamed Aleph Kiddushin. How does that work? It's the opposite, right? So Rashi explains. He says, in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what does he want? He wants the tzaddikim, wants to give them the best olam haba possible. But the person does averot. So the tzaddik, he does averot. So what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu do? he makes sure that he pays for the averot in Olam Hazeh. So when he comes to Olam Haba, he has a clean record, right? He paid his due, and now he benefits from Olam Haba fully, without any restrictions. And the Rasha that HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want close to him, everybody does good, does one way or another. So he pays him for the good in this world, in Olam Hazeh. And when the person goes to Olam Haba, he says, oh, I did all the good. He says, yeah, but you didn't deserve a boat, you didn't deserve a plane, you didn't deserve a house, you didn't deserve a vacation, you didn't deserve all this. But I gave it to you. Did you enjoy it? Yeah, okay, that's it. Okay, I paid my due. So that's tzaddik veralo, rasha vetovlo. So there is vadai that the power of the Torah, okay, mehapechet, turn things around. But it's not nothing. At the end, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, okay, has a heshbon, okay, that if he wants the person to come with a clean record, he will make sure that it's for his own good. Yeah, just like again, you take your son to the doctor and they have to take out a tooth. It hurts, or they need to clean a tooth and they have to put an injection. It hurts, it burns, but it's for the best. It's for the best. So here we're not talking about the bad that is for your best. We're talking about the bad that lemase is because of the mazal, because of tikkunim from the past, because of prior actions, but not a bad that's really for your own benefit.
Where is this? Which Gemara?
Kiddushin.
Kiddushin.
Lamed Aleph. Amud Bet. Amud Aleph, not Amud Bet, Amud Aleph.
Amazing. Mechaper. No, meapechet.
Meapechet. One more pasuk.
This could be also why when we do tefillah for another one, also is the same process that it changes the life of the person that we do tefillah and for.
What do you mean?
If we do tefillah for another one, he cannot study. We are studying for them. We are changing his future.
Yes.
So it's not only for us. It's all you can study for others.
נכון.
He studies for Klal Israel. He changes the destiny of the.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct.
In the midah keneged midah aspect that you spoke about, there is a physical action, meaning is the learning itself good enough to do that?
No.
To change it? You need an action.
No.
You need an action.
No. This is here we're talking about the Torah and the mitzvah.
So there is the
limud, and then there is crystallizing the limud into practical action. So that's ha'avodah, lehapoch, to flip from potential to reality, spiritual to practical. Okay, is what essentially when you do the mitzvah, okay, when you live your life b'derech haTorah, this is what you infuse in your life. This power of swapping, turning it around from one opposite to the other. So in your avodah is from potential to practical, from spiritual to practical. To in your life, it's from bad to good.
Amazing. Thank you.
Maybe we stop here. Maybe we stop here. We did Tet and Yud.
Beautiful.
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem.